Brianna, you and Daniel deserve rest before the baby comes.
$18,000, fully paid.
A luxury cruise?
Wow, thank you.
Naomi, we didn't forget you.
Maybe this will be your big break. Maybe you'll finally be the lucky one.
A $5 ticket? You gave her $18,000 of peace and gave me a joke. Don't ruin Christmas!
Watch your tone.
Don't worry. Maybe my luck will change. Grace, tell me I'm reading this wrong. Naomi, this is real. Do not call your family. How much? $100 million.
My parents gave my pregnant sister an $18,000 luxury cruise. Then they gave me a $5 lottery ticket. Not as a joke. Not as a cute family moment. Not as some equal little holiday game where everyone laughed and nobody got hurt. They gave it to me in front of the whole family on Christmas morning, while my sister Brianna sat beside the fireplace with one hand on her pregnant belly, crying over glossy cruise brochures, and my mother told everyone she deserves to be spoiled right now. My name is Naomi Bennett. I was 36 years old when I sat on the edge of my parents' sofa, holding that cheap lottery ticket between my fingers, trying not to let my face show what my heart had already understood. Once again, I was the daughter expected to be grateful for whatever was left. The living room was warm, crowded, and loud. Garland wrapped around the staircase. Red ribbons hung on the walls. The Christmas tree stood near the front window, heavy with gold ornaments my mother only brought out when guests were coming. My father, Leonard, sat in his favorite armchair wearing a burgundy sweater and the proud expression of a man who believed generosity was beautiful when it was performed in front of witnesses. My mother, Patricia, stood beside the tree with a stack of envelopes and gift bags on the coffee table. My younger sister, Brianna, sat in the best chair near the fireplace, wrapped in a cream maternity dress, glowing under everyone's attention. Her husband, Daniel, sat beside her, smiling like a man who had married into permanent rescue. My brother Marcus leaned near the snack table with a plate of food in his hand, waiting to see what he might receive next. And I sat near the corner, close enough to be included, far enough to remember my place. That was how my family liked me. Present, useful, quiet, not too close to the center. My mother clapped her hands. Okay, everyone, one more big surprise. Brianna laughed nervously. Mom, you've already done too much. My mother smiled at her with wet eyes. No such thing when my baby is carrying my grandchild. My baby. Brianna was 28. I was 36. But in my mother's voice, Brianna was still the baby. Soft, precious, protected. I was the strong one, the working one, the one who did not need fuss. The one who could handle disappointment because I had handled so much of it already. My father stood slowly and handed Brianna a white envelope. This is from your mother and me. Brianna opened it. At first, she looked confused. Then her mouth fell open. Inside were cruise brochures, printed confirmation papers, and a shiny itinerary with photos of blue water, private balcony suites, spa treatments, fine dining, and 7 nights across the Caribbean. Brianna gasped. Dad! My mother cried immediately. Before the baby comes, you and Daniel need rest, a proper rest. No stress, no bills, no thinking, just ocean, food, and peace. Daniel took the papers and read. His eyebrows shot up. Wait, this is the Royal Sapphire package? My father smiled. Private balcony suite, couples spa package, excursions included, flights covered. Brianna burst into tears. Oh my God, this is too much. My mother rushed to hug her. Nothing is too much for you right now. Everyone clapped. Aunties cried. Cousins shouted congratulations. Marcus whistled. $18,000? Okay, Dad. My father chuckled. Family takes care of family. Family takes care of family. I looked down at my hands. 3 months earlier, when my apartment water heater broke and I mentioned it during dinner, my father told me, "Naomi, you are old enough to handle your own household." 6 months before that, when my car needed repairs and I asked if I could borrow the family truck for 2 days, my mother said, "Baby, you need to plan better." When I paid Marcus's overdue school fees for his children, that was family taking care of family. When I sent money for my mother's medical bills, family taking care of family. When I covered part of my parents' property tax because my father said he was temporarily short, family taking care of family. But when I needed softness, family became a lecture. I did not clap loudly. That was my mistake. My mother noticed. She always noticed when my happiness for others was not big enough to cover my hurt. "Naomi," she said brightly, "don't look so serious." The room turned toward me. I forced a smile. "I'm happy for Brianna." Brianna wiped her tears and looked at me. "Thanks, sis." Her voice was sweet. I did not hate Brianna. That was the hardest part. She was not cruel in the obvious way. She was soft because everyone made room for her softness. She cried easily because no one punished her tears. She asked for help because help always arrived. She had never needed to learn how to carry pain without making noise. My mother picked up a small red envelope from the table. "And Naomi, we didn't forget you." The room became too quiet. That kind of quiet families pretend is normal. My mother walked toward me and handed me the envelope. It was light. Too light. I opened it. Inside was a $5 scratch lottery ticket and a small note in my mother's handwriting. "Maybe your luck will change." For 1 second, I could not breathe. Maybe your luck will change. I looked at the ticket, then at my mother. She was smiling. Not cruelly, exactly. That made it worse. She truly thought this was acceptable because she truly believed I required less. My father chuckled from his chair. "You never know, Naomi. Could be your big break." Marcus laughed with food in his mouth. "Yeah, sis." "Maybe you'll finally be the lucky one." Some cousins laughed too. Not loudly, just enough to make my skin burn. Grace was not there. Vivian was not there. No one who loved me properly was in that room. So I sat there holding a $5 lottery ticket while my pregnant sister cried over an $18,000 cruise, and I felt something inside me finally stop begging. Not break. Stop begging. My mother tilted her head. "Baby, say thank you." I looked at the ticket again. $5. My salary could buy hundreds of them. That was not the point. The point was the message. Brianna deserved rest. I deserved luck. Brianna deserved planning. I deserved chance. Brianna deserved $18,000 of certainty. I deserved a scratch ticket and a joke. I looked at my mother. "Thank you." My voice was calm. Too calm. My father nodded, satisfied. Marcus grinned. Brianna looked down at her cruise papers, uncomfortable now, but not uncomfortable enough to give anything back. My mother said, "See, Christmas should be joyful." I smiled. Yes, it should. Then I stood. My mother frowned. "Where are you going?" "Home. But lunch is almost ready." "I'm not hungry." My father's face hardened. "Naomi, do not spoil the day." I looked at him. "I'm not spoiling anything. I'm leaving before I do." Marcus rolled his eyes. "Always dramatic." I turned to him. "No, Marcus. Dramatic is pretending a $5 lottery ticket is a gift after giving someone else a luxury cruise." The room froze. My mother gasped. "Naomi!" My father stood. "Watch your tone." There it was. The old family bell. Not watch your daughter's hurt. Not watch your favoritism. Not watch the way everyone just laughed at her. Watch your tone. I slipped the lottery ticket back into the red envelope. "No." My father blinked. "What?" "No. I am done watching my tone while everyone watches me get treated like furniture." Brianna whispered. "Naomi, please." I looked at her. "This is not your fault." Relief moved across her face. Then I added, "But you have benefited from it your whole life." Her eyes filled. My mother stepped between us. "That is a cruel thing to say to a pregnant woman." I looked at her. No, cruel is teaching one daughter she deserves everything, and the other she should smile at scraps. Silence. My father's voice dropped. "You are jealous." I almost laughed. There it was, the easiest accusation. Jealous. Because jealousy made my pain ugly. Jealousy meant they did not have to examine fairness. Jealousy meant I was small, bitter, and ungrateful. I looked at my father. No, I am awake. Then I picked up my coat, held the $5 ticket between two fingers, and walked toward the door. My mother called after me. "Naomi, don't leave like this. It's Christmas." I stopped at the doorway, turned back. Everyone stared. Brianna crying, Daniel holding the cruise papers. Marcus smirking less now. My father angry. My mother wounded because I had refused to make her comfortable after she hurt me. I lifted the ticket slightly. "Don't worry," I said. "Maybe my luck will change." Then I left. The funny thing is, I did not scratch the ticket that day. I threw it into my purse and forgot about it. For 9 days, it sat between a grocery receipt, a lip balm, and the spare key to my apartment. A $5 reminder of exactly where I stood in my family. Then, on New Year's Eve, while cleaning my purse before meeting Grace for dinner, I found it. I almost threw it away. Then something made me stop. Maybe anger. Maybe sadness. Maybe Grandma Ruth's voice in my memory saying, "Child, even scraps can become evidence." So I scratched it with a coin. One line, then another, then another. I stared. Read the instructions again. Checked the numbers. Checked the prize box. Then stopped breathing. $100 million. At first, I thought I was wrong. People always think they are wrong when life changes too fast. I took a picture, sent it to Grace. She called in 11 seconds. Her voice was not loud. That scared me. "Naomi." "What?" "Do not move." "Grace." "Do not scream. Do not call your mother. Do not tell one living soul with Bennett blood." My hand started shaking. "Is it real?" There was a pause. Then Grace said, "Baby, if this is real, your family gave Brianna a cruise and accidentally handed you the ocean. Before I continue, tell me where you are watching from tonight, and if your family has ever treated you like the leftover child, stay with this story." Because my parents thought they insulted me with a $5 lottery ticket. They had no idea that same ticket would make me $100 million richer and expose every fake apology they had been saving for the day I finally became useful again. Grace arrived at my apartment 30 minutes later. She did not knock. She had an emergency key, but unlike my family, Grace understood that access did not mean ownership. She texted from the hallway first. "Can I come in?" I answered, "Yes." Then she entered wearing a black coat, sneakers, and the focused expression of a woman ready to protect either a lottery ticket or a crime scene. "Where is it?" she asked. I pointed to the kitchen table. The ticket sat under an empty glass because I was afraid the air might steal it. Grace walked toward it slowly. She did not touch it at first. She leaned down, read it, opened the lottery website on her phone, checked the numbers, checked the game, checked the prize structure, checked the deadline, then looked at me. Her eyes filled. "Oh my God." I sat down hard. "It's real?" "It looks real." "Looks?" "Until verified officially, we say looks. Vivian will say allegedly real because lawyers have emotional allergies." I laughed, then cried, then laughed again. Grace sat beside me and pulled me into her arms. For a moment, we were just two women in a quiet apartment on New Year's Eve, holding the impossible. $100 million. I had spent my whole life measuring money carefully. Rent, savings, groceries, family emergencies, debt payments that were not mine. Marcus's school fees, my mother's prescriptions, my father's tax shortfalls, Brianna's baby shower contribution. I knew money as numbers that left me. Now money had entered like thunder. And the strangest part was not joy. It was fear. What do I do? I whispered. Grace pulled back and looked at me firmly. Nothing alone. Then she made calls. Vivian Hart arrived 45 minutes later, carrying a leather folder and wearing the calm face of a woman who had been awakened from dinner but found the emergency legally interesting. She looked at the ticket, then at me. Congratulations, pending verification. Grace pointed at her. I told you. Vivian ignored her. Naomi, first rule, you tell no one. Second rule, sign the back after we photograph and document it. Third rule, we secure it. Fourth rule, we verify claim procedures. Fifth rule, financial trust planning before public claim. I stared at her. My family will know eventually. Yes. They will lose their minds. Yes. What do I do then? Vivian's eyes softened slightly. You remember Christmas morning. That settled me. Christmas morning. Brianna's cruise papers. My mother's smile. My father's joke. Marcus's laugh. Maybe your luck will change. Yes, I remembered. We spent that night making a plan instead of going to dinner. Grace ordered food. Vivian documented the ticket. I signed it carefully. We placed it in a secure envelope. Vivian arranged a safe deposit hold through a private bank office that opened for high-priority clients. Grace began building what she called the No Marcus Wall. Grace, I said. What? Every financial plan needs a theme. The next morning, while other people nursed hangovers and made resolutions, I sat with Vivian and Grace in a private legal office, reviewing the claim process. Depending on the payout structure, taxes, privacy rules, and state procedures, the public part could not be avoided completely, but we could protect as much as possible. Vivian created a trust. Grace built a financial team. Tax attorney. Estate planner. Security consultant. Philanthropy advisor. No family. No cousin with insurance ideas. No uncle who knows investments. No church friend with a business plan. No Marcus. Especially no Marcus. For 3 weeks, we moved quietly. The ticket was verified. The win was real. The amount was real. After taxes and payout decisions, the numbers shifted, but the truth remained. I was richer than anyone in my family could imagine. Richer than the cruise. Richer than my apartment. Richer than every emergency they had ever used to keep me useful. $100 million changes more than a bank account. It changes the sound of people's voices when they find out. But before they found out, I changed first. I stopped every automatic family transfer. Not loudly, not as revenge. Cleanly. My mother's monthly help. Paused. My father's property tax support. Paused. Marcus's children's school contribution. Moved into a protected education trust where Marcus could not touch it. Brianna's baby gift fund. Paused. The family emergency account. Closed. Grace watched me click the final confirmation. You okay? No. Good no or bad no? Free no. She smiled. That's my favorite no. I knew the calls would come. They did. My mother called 2 days later. Naomi, baby, did something happen with the bank? The transfer did not come. No, I stopped it. Silence. Stopped it? Yes. Why? Because I am reviewing my finances. Her voice tightened. Naomi, your father was counting on that for the property tax. I know. Marcus's school contribution? The children's education will be handled through a protected account. What does that mean? It means Marcus will not receive the money. She gasped softly. You don't trust your brother? I almost laughed. Mom, Naomi, this is not the time to become difficult. No, this is exactly the time. She went quiet. Then the old softness returned. Baby, is this about Christmas? I looked out my window at the city. Christmas, the cruise, the ticket, the laughter, the note. No, I said. Christmas only clarified it. My mother sighed. You are still hurt over a gift? Brianna is pregnant. She needed something special. And I needed basic respect. That ticket was meant to be fun. Was it? She did not answer. I continued. Mom, I am no longer funding a family that treats me like an afterthought until bills arrive. Her voice changed. Naomi, don't speak to me like that. I smiled sadly. There it is. What? The moment you become angry because the daughter who pays still wants dignity. She cried then, not loudly, but quickly. I did not comfort her. That was new. After the call ended, I sat still. My hands shook. Grace, who had been sitting across from me pretending not to listen, said, Proud of you. It hurts. Truth does not always arrive with anesthesia. 2 weeks later, the lottery announcement became public enough for my family to see. I did not post. I did not brag. I did not hold a giant check in a tight dress like Marcus would have hoped. The news came through a short official release, naming the trust connected to me. A local reporter connected the dots. By noon, my phone looked like it had fallen into fire. Calls, messages, voice notes, unknown numbers, cousins, aunties, old classmates, church members, business acquaintances, and family. My mother called 27 times. My father called 11. Marcus sent texts from 3 numbers. Brianna sent 1 message. Naomi, is it true? I stared at hers the longest. Then my mother sent, Baby, call me, please. We are so happy for you. Happy. By 2 p.m., Marcus wrote, You won because of Mom's gift. Don't forget that. There it was. I laughed so loudly Grace came running from the other room. What? I showed her the message. She read it, then looked at the ceiling. Lord, I know vengeance belongs to you, but may I consult? Vivian told me not to respond emotionally, so I did not. Instead, I called a family meeting. Not at my apartment, not at my parents' house, at Vivian's office. Neutral ground. Legal air. Chairs that did not belong to anyone's guilt. My parents arrived first. My mother came wearing her church pearls and a face arranged into proud tenderness. My father wore a suit. Marcus came in loudly, carrying the excitement of a man already spending money he did not own. Brianna came last with Daniel. She looked nervous, one hand resting on her belly. For the first time in my life, they all looked at me like I was the center of the room. Not because I was hurt, because I was rich. That difference nearly made me sick. My mother rushed toward me. Baby! I stepped back before she could hug me. She froze. Everyone saw it. Grace, sitting beside me, smiled faintly. Vivian sat at the head of the table, with documents closed in front of her. My father cleared his throat. Naomi, this is a miracle. Marcus laughed. 100 million. Sis, that is insane. Brianna whispered. Congratulations. That was the only voice that did not sound like a hand reaching. I nodded to her. Thank you. My mother sat down, still smiling too hard. God is so good. Who would have thought that little ticket? Mom, I said. She stopped. Do you remember what you wrote in the envelope? Her smile faded slightly. What? The note. She looked confused. I took out a copy and placed it on the table. Vivian had copied it. Of course. My mother read it. Maybe your luck will change. The room went quiet. My father shifted. Marcus looked away. Brianna closed her eyes. My mother tried to laugh. Oh, Naomi, that was just a little joke. I looked at her. Was everyone laughing? She swallowed. That day was emotional. Brianna was pregnant. We wanted to make her feel special. And what did you want me to feel? Silence. I waited. My mother's eyes filled. My father said, "Naomi, this is not necessary." "It is very necessary." Marcus leaned forward. "Are we really going to sit here and argue about a gift? You won. Let it go." I looked at him. That is exactly what people say when harm accidentally becomes expensive. He frowned. "What does that even mean?" Grace whispered. "It means hush." Vivian glanced at her. Grace sat back. I turned to my parents. "You gave Brianna an $18,000 cruise because she deserved rest. You gave me a $5 lottery ticket because maybe my luck would change. I want you to say out loud why that felt fair to you." My mother started crying. My father looked angry. Brianna looked miserable. Marcus rolled his eyes. "Because you don't need help. Brianna is pregnant. She has a family." I turned to him. "Thank you for saying the quiet part." He shrugged. "It's true." "No, Marcus. It's familiar." My father said, "Your sister needed support. I have supported this family for years." No one denies that. Then why was I the only one expected not to need anything? My mother whispered, "You are strong." There it was. The family's favorite excuse. I looked at her. Strong does not mean undeserving. She cried harder. I continued. "I called this meeting because there will be no confusion. The lottery money is mine, not family money, not shared blessing, not Marcus's opportunity, not Brianna's baby fund, not Mom's cruise expansion, not Dad's retirement plan, mine." Marcus laughed. "There it is. Money changed you." "No," I said. "Money revealed how quickly all of you changed your tone." His face reddened. "My father said, 'Naomi, we are your family. And I am the daughter you made a punchline on Christmas morning.'" My mother covered her mouth. I looked at Brianna. "You benefited from favoritism. I won't pretend you didn't." Tears filled her eyes. "I know." That surprised everyone, especially my mother. Brianna continued, voice shaking. "I knew the ticket was cruel." The room went still. My mother turned. "Brianna?" "No, Mom." She wiped her face. "I knew. I should have said something. I was so happy about the cruise and so embarrassed for Naomi, but I didn't want to ruin my moment." Her honesty hit harder than my anger could have. Brianna looked at me. "I'm sorry." "For what specifically?" I asked softly. She swallowed. "For sitting there with an $18,000 gift and letting you be humiliated with a $5 ticket. For acting like being pregnant meant I could accept anything and not notice what you were denied. For staying quiet." My throat tightened. "I hear you." Marcus scoffed. "Oh, please. Are we doing courtroom apologies now?" Vivian looked at him. "If you prefer courtroom consequences, that can be arranged." He sat back. My father leaned forward. "What do you want from us, Naomi?" That question carried old irritation. Like my pain was an inconvenience on the way to financial discussion. "I want nothing," I said. My mother looked confused. "Nothing?" "Nothing. No apology forced by money. No sudden pride. No family investment ideas. No celebration lunch. No interviews. No access to my accounts. No loans. No business proposals. No emergency requests." Marcus's mouth fell open. "You're joking." "No. You won $100 million. Yes." "And you're not helping family?" "I have helped family for years. Now I am helping differently." My father asked carefully, "What does that mean?" "It means support for children and medical needs will go through protected structures. No cash to adults who confuse love with access. No more open transfers. No more family emergency account." My mother whispered, "But we are your parents." "Yes," I said, "and you gave me a lottery ticket to remind me where I stood. I am grateful. It worked." The room went silent. My father looked ashamed then. Not fully, but enough. Marcus exploded. "This is insane. Mom gave you the ticket. Technically, if anyone deserves something, she does." Grace laughed before she could stop herself. Vivian said, "Marcus, Do not attempt lottery law without adult supervision. Brianna covered her mouth. My mother whispered, Marcus, stop. But he was too far gone. No, I won't stop. She wins $100 million from a ticket Mom bought, and now she's acting like we're beggars? I looked at him. You are acting like one. His face went dark. My father snapped, Naomi. No, if Marcus wants money, he should say it plainly, instead of wrapping greed in family language. Marcus stood. I have business opportunities. There it is. You don't even know what they are. I don't need to. They arrived before your congratulations. He pointed at me. You think you're better now? No, Marcus. I think I'm finally harder to use. He stormed out. For once, no one followed him. That mattered. The meeting ended badly, but clearly. My mother cried. My father apologized vaguely. I rejected vague. Brianna apologized specifically. Daniel said nothing, which was wise. Grace drove me home afterward. I looked out the window in silence. Finally, she said, You did well. I feel awful. Of course. You just told a room full of takers the buffet is closed. I laughed softly. Then cried. The next months were strange. Money made people loud. Some relatives who had not called me in years suddenly missed me. Church friends had visions. Cousins had business ideas. Old classmates had medical emergencies that somehow required direct transfers. A man I dated twice in my 20s sent a message saying he always knew I was special. Grace created a folder called Absolutely Not. Vivian created one called Security Concerns. I created one called Lessons. In it, I placed a copy of the $5 ticket, my mother's note, and Brianna's apology. Not Marcus's messages. Those went somewhere less spiritual. I did not move immediately. I stayed in my apartment while the trust formed and plans settled. Then I made my first major purchase. Not a mansion, not a yacht, not jewelry, a building. An old women's shelter in Bellwater that had closed due to lack of funding. Grandma Ruth used to volunteer there. The building had been empty for 2 years. Windows dusty, garden overgrown, paint peeling, but the bones were good. I bought it quietly, renovated it properly. Not cheaply, not for publicity. Properly. Legal clinic, childcare room, training kitchen, computer lab, temporary suites, counseling offices, financial education classroom, a small garden, a quiet chapel. We named it The Leftover Daughter House. Grace thought the name was too sharp. Vivian loved it. Aunt Linda cried when she saw the sign. She said, Some names need to cut before they heal. The mission was simple. Help women who had been treated as afterthoughts by their families rebuild with dignity. Daughters expected to sacrifice for siblings. Women excluded from inheritance. Single women told their lives mattered less. Divorced women treated like burdens. Pregnant women pressured to accept guilt as care. Caregivers used until empty. The first program was called More Than Scraps. I funded it with $10 million from the winnings. Not all. I was not foolish. Grace would have tackled me, but enough to make the work real. When we opened, reporters asked why. I held up a copy of the lottery ticket. Not the real one. A copy. I said. A $5 gift taught me that some people only recognize value after luck adds zeros. This house exists for women whose value was real before anyone saw it. That quote traveled. My mother saw it. I know because she called Vivian crying. I did not speak to her for a while. Not out of hatred. Out of recovery. Brianna reached out slowly. Different from the others. She sent a handwritten letter. Naomi. The cruise was beautiful, but I could not enjoy it fully after what happened. Every dinner, every spa appointment, every ocean view reminded me that I accepted a gift in a room where you were made small. I know I did not buy the gift or write the note, but I stayed quiet because silence benefited me. I am sorry. I want my daughter to grow up differently. If you allow it, I want to volunteer at the leftover daughter house after the baby comes. Not as charity, as repair. Brianna. I sat with that letter for a long time. Then I wrote back. When you are ready, you can attend a volunteer orientation, no special position, no family privilege. She replied, that is fair. And it was. Brianna came 6 months after giving birth to a baby girl named Ruth. That made me cry privately. She did not announce it as a tribute to steal forgiveness. She simply told me quietly. I named her Ruth because I want her to know women can be roots, not leftovers. That was the first time I hugged her after Christmas. My mother's apology came later. She asked to meet at Vivian's office. I agreed. Grace came too. My mother walked in without pearls, without performance, just a simple blue dress and tired eyes. She sat across from me and placed an envelope on the table. My body tensed. She noticed. It's not a gift, she said quickly. It's a letter. I did not touch it. She began speaking. I am sorry. I waited. She inhaled. For what specifically? I asked. She nodded. For giving Brianna a cruise and giving you a lottery ticket in front of everyone. For writing, maybe your luck will change. For thinking it was funny. For asking you to say thank you. For calling you jealous when you were hurt. For using your strength as an excuse not to nurture you. My eyes burned. She continued. And for calling your money a blessing when I wanted access, but your pain attitude when you needed care. That one landed. Grace looked down. Vivian stayed still. My mother's voice broke. When I heard you won, my first feeling should have been joy for my daughter. Instead, it was panic about what I might receive and shame about how I had treated you. I did not like seeing that in myself. I was quiet. She pushed the envelope closer. I wrote down the money you gave us over the years, as best as I could remember. I cannot pay it back. Not now. Maybe not ever. But I wanted to stop pretending it was nothing. I opened the envelope. Inside was a handwritten list. Not complete. Not perfect. But real. Mortgage help. Medication. Marcus's children. Property tax. Emergency repairs. Groceries. The amounts were wrong in places, but the naming mattered. At the bottom, she wrote, my daughter helped me. I made her feel lucky to receive scraps. I cried then. Not loudly. Not for show. Just tears I could not stop. I hear you, I said. My mother nodded. Thank you. She did not ask for money. She did not ask to visit the shelter. She did not ask for access to me. That restraint was the beginning of trust. My father's apology came in a different form. He did not write beautifully. He was not good with emotional language. Instead, he came to the leftover daughter house and asked if he could fix a broken fence in the garden. Aunt Linda almost sent him away. I said let him. He worked for 4 hours in the sun. No speech. No audience. No fatherly authority. Just repair. Afterward, he asked if we could talk. We sat on a bench near the garden. He said, I failed you. I looked at him. For what specifically? He closed his eyes. For laughing when you got the ticket. For calling you jealous. For letting the family treat your giving as normal and your hurt as attitude. For making Brianna's need visible and yours invisible. My throat tightened. And Marcus? He sighed. For protecting him from consequences and expecting you to fund the protection. I nodded. He looked toward the shelter. This place is good. Yes. You did this with the money from the ticket? Some of it. He nodded slowly. Your mother and I thought we were giving you nothing. I looked at him. You were. He flinched but accepted it. Yes, he said. And somehow you turned nothing into this. No, Dad. The ticket turned into money. I turned pain into this. He looked at me then. Really looked. For once, he did not correct my tone. Marcus did not apologize for years. Of course, at first, he was furious. He sent business plans, luxury car rental company, real estate flipping, crypto education platform, restaurant lounge, mobile app for family networking. Grace rejected each one without letting them reach me. He accused me of hoarding. He said if Mom gave me the ticket, family deserved a share. He threatened to speak to media. Vivian sent one letter. He stopped. Then life continued. Without my money, Marcus had to face himself. He lost some comforts. Tasha forced financial transparency. My parents stopped rescuing him easily, partly because they had less access to me, and partly because the truth had become harder to ignore. Marcus took a job managing inventory for a regional supply company. He hated it. Then he stayed. Then he improved. 3 years after the win, he asked to meet. I said no. 4 years after, he asked again through Brianna. I agreed to one meeting at Vivian's office. Grace came. Vivian came. Marcus sat across from me, looking older, less shiny, more human. He said, I'm sorry. I waited. For what specifically? He exhaled. For laughing when Mom gave you the ticket. For saying maybe you would finally be lucky. For asking for money before congratulating you. For treating your win like family property. For sending business plans like I had a right. For making you the family bank before and after the lottery. That was more than I expected. I said nothing. He continued. I was angry because the ticket proved something I did not want to see. What? That the person we treated like the least became the one with the most. Grace whispered. Poetic and late. Vivian looked at her. Marcus continued. And I hated that you did not need us after we made you feel unwanted. There it was. The truth under everything. I looked at him. I needed family. I did not need users. He nodded. I know. I don't forgive all of it today. I know. But I hear you. He looked relieved in a quiet way. Not entitled. Just relieved to be heard. That was enough for that day. The money changed my life, but not in the ways people expected. Yes, I bought a larger home. Not immediately. Eventually. A quiet estate with gardens, a library, and enough space for privacy. Yes, I traveled. Yes, I hired security after Marcus's media threat. Yes, I invested. Yes, I built wealth beyond the winnings because Grace refused to let luck become laziness. But the deepest changes were smaller. I stopped explaining no. I stopped answering calls after 8 p.m. I stopped rescuing adults from repeated choices. I stopped shrinking good news before sharing it. I stopped calling crumbs love. And every Christmas after that, I bought myself one gift. Something meaningful, not always expensive. A first edition book. A painting from a young artist. A weekend alone. A pair of earrings. A donation in Grandma Ruth's name. The first Christmas after the lottery, Grace handed me a small wrapped box. Inside was a framed copy of the $5 ticket. Not the real one. A replica. Under it, she had engraved, "They gave her scraps. God added zeros." I laughed until I cried. Vivian said the line was legally dramatic. Aunt Linda said it was spiritually accurate. I kept it in my private study. Not the public shelter. Not the foundation office. My study. A reminder. Not to worship luck, but to remember that humiliation does not get the final word unless you let it. The leftover daughter house grew into a national foundation. More than scraps became a financial education program. We funded emergency grants, legal help, housing transitions, scholarships for daughters whose education money had been redirected to siblings, business training for women whose families said brothers deserved investment first, counseling for caregivers, workshops called Strong Still Needs Support. Pregnancy is not a weapon. Family money without family manipulation. One daughter is not the backup plan. Brianna eventually taught a session called Benefiting Without Seeing. She told women, sometimes you are not the one being harmed, but you are standing in the room where harm is happening. Silence can be comfort, but it can also be cooperation. I was proud of her, carefully, not blindly, but truly. My mother volunteered in the kitchen twice a month. No leadership. No speeches unless invited. One day I heard her telling a young woman, "Do not let anyone tell you that because you are strong, you do not deserve softness." I stood in the hallway and cried. My father fixed things around the building. Fences, chairs, door hinges. He once said, "I think repair is the only apology I am good at." I told him, "Then repair honestly." He did. Marcus donated monthly eventually. Not large amounts. At first $50, then $100, then more. The note on his first donation said, "For the joke I should not have laughed at." I accepted it. Not because it paid anything back. Because accountability has to begin somewhere. Years later, on the 10th anniversary of the lottery win, we held a dinner at the leftover daughter house. Not a luxury gala. A family-style meal in the restored hall. Women we had helped came back with stories. One had bought her first apartment. One had recovered scholarship money. One had stopped paying her brother's debts. One had left a family business that refused to give her equity and started her own. One had finally told her parents, "I am not your emergency fund." At the end of the night, Brianna stood beside me holding her daughter Ruth's hand. Little Ruth was 9 then, bright-eyed and serious. She asked, "Aunt Naomi, is it true Grandma gave you a lottery ticket and you won because of it?" The room went quiet. Children ask history without knowing where the bones are. I crouched in front of her. "Yes. Was it a nice gift?" The adults froze. I looked at my mother. She was crying quietly. Then I looked back at Ruth. "No, sweetheart. It was not given nicely." Ruth frowned. "Then why did it become good?" I smiled sadly. "Because sometimes life takes something meant to make you feel small and uses it to show you how big your purpose is." She thought about that, then nodded like it made perfect sense. Maybe to children, miracles are less complicated. My parents gave my pregnant sister an $18,000 cruise. They gave me a $5 lottery ticket. Then I won $100 million. People love the dramatic part. The cruise brochures. The fireplace. The little red envelope. The cruel note. The scratch ticket. The impossible numbers. The family panic. Marcus's business plans. The sudden apologies. The daughter who went from leftover to millionaire overnight. I understand. It is dramatic, but the real story is not about luck. It is about value. The value you have before anyone claps, before money, before pregnancy, before marriage, before children, before your name trends, before the bank account changes, before people realize they should have treated you better. The real story is about the strong daughter who still needed softness, the working daughter who still deserved thought, the unmarried daughter who still deserved celebration, the helpful daughter who still deserved help, the daughter who got scraps and was expected to smile because at least she got something. If you are listening and you have been that daughter, hear me. You are not jealous for noticing unfairness. You are not bitter for naming favoritism. You are not selfish for wanting care without first becoming useful. You are not ungrateful for refusing a gift meant to remind you of your place. And you do not need $100 million to prove you mattered all along. You mattered before the ticket. You mattered before the win. You mattered while sitting on the corner of the sofa, watching someone else receive the kind of tenderness you had stopped expecting. That matters. Do not let families use pregnancy, marriage, children, weakness, or crisis to erase you. Yes, pregnant women deserve care. Yes, people in need deserve support. Yes, families can celebrate different seasons differently. But care for one person should not require humiliation of another. Celebration should not become comparison. Generosity should not become a stage where one child shines and another becomes a joke. And if they hand you scraps, you do not have to throw them back. You can leave. You can build. You can scratch the ticket later. You can let life surprise you. You can take the very thing meant to insult you and turn it into a foundation, a shelter, a boundary, a new life. Today, the original lottery ticket sits secured in a private safe. A replica hangs in my study. At the leftover daughter house, there is a wall covered with notes from women who finally learned they were more than what their families handed them. One note says, "I was not leftover. I was overlooked." Another says, "Strong still needs support." Another says, "My luck changed when I stopped begging to be chosen." That one is my favorite. My name is Naomi Bennett. My parents gave my pregnant sister a cruise and handed me a lottery ticket with a joke. Then, I won $100 million. But the real win was not the money. The real win was the day I stopped accepting scraps as proof of love.